Okay, looking at the eight covenants of God, the third covenant, which is the Noahic Covenant. The Noahic Covenant is formed in Genesis chapter 8, verses 20 and chapter 9, verse 27, and established the principles of the dispensation of human government. This covenant is between God and Noah. Noah, like Adam, is a representative of the whole human race. And because of the flood, humanity is not only descended from Adam, but also from Noah. The dispensation of human government has since been superseded, but the Noahic covenant is an unconditional covenant and is still in effect today. God placed it in effect as an everlasting covenant in Genesis chapter 9, verse 16. And this covenant is associated, as I previously stated, with the dispensation of human government. In Genesis chapter 6, verse 5, we see that man had become extremely evil, and God decided to wipe man, beast, creeping things, and fowls of the air from the earth, as in Genesis chapter 6, verse 7. However, Noah, who walked with God, found favor in God's eyes. It's in Genesis 6, verses 8 and 9. And God decided to save Noah and his sons and their wives and to make a covenant with Noah. And you'll find that in Genesis chapter 6, verse 13 and 18. So, first, man was to multiply, to replenish the earth again. Genesis chapter 9, verse 1. And Noah and his family, 8 people in all, were all that were left after the flood. With man's fall, he had lost authority over the earth to Satan. And in this covenant was not given a command to subdue the earth. Today, Satan still has authority over the kingdoms of this world and is called the prince of this world in John chapter 12, verse 31, and the God of this world in 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 4. And then next, man lost authority over the earth, but he still had authority over the animals. So God put the fear of man into the animals in Genesis chapter 9, verse 2. And then man's diet was now changed too. It had formerly been a vegetarian diet, but now it was to consist of every moving thing and the green herbs. Genesis chapter 9, verse 3. Then man was also prohibited from eating the blood of animals. Genesis chapter 9, verse 4. Formerly, with Cain killing Abel, there was no capital punishment. In this covenant, God instituted capital punishment. All murderers were now to be executed, according to Genesis chapter 9, verses 5 through 6. And then there is a promise that the human race would not be cut off again by a worldwide flood, in Genesis chapter 9, verses 8 through 11. But God established this covenant with a token of a rainbow. And the rainbow, when seen today, should be a time of remembrance. Genesis chapter 9, verses 12 through 17. It is also implied that Noah's sons are to be heads of different divisions of the human race. Genesis chapter 10, verse 32. Shem was to have a relationship with God. From Shem, we get the Hebrew nation and other Semitic people. In Genesis 9, verse 26. Canaan, the son of Ham, was to be a servant of servants to his brethren. And that's in Genesis 9, verse 26. And chapter 10, verses 6 through 20. Japheth was to be enlarged and dwell in the tents of Shem and Canaan, and the son of Ham was to be his servant. The sons of Japheth make up the Indo-European people. Thank you for listening.